a Tuesday morning. It is May the 14th. How are you? Rise and shine. Good morning. I'm First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Bottom left corner says it. There's a tornado watch posted for parts of central Florida. That tornado watch in effect because dynamics are there for strong to severe storms through our area. So let's get right to it and just kind of go over this tornado watch for Marion, Flagler, and Sumter counties. This tornado watch goes until 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to be talking all about said tornado watch and, of course, the forecast for today throughout this morning's Coffee Talk. But let's just kind of get a lay of the land before we get too in the weeds with the weather situation. Let's take a live look outside, see what's going on. All right, here's Ocala, Marion County. We've got plenty of clouds over top of us. It's kind of a grayish morning, and that makes sense. First warning, live Doppler radar. Scanning around, and you can see there's already this line of storms that's knocking on our doorstep. You can see it around Gainesville and Alachua County. We've got our live radar on the long range mode, tracking those storms, St. Augustine, and some of these storms are producing some pretty decent lightning strikes. Let me switch over to the Tampa radar, and you kind of see this pencil thin line of rain there. So it really is going to be all of this stuff up here. Jacksonville radar. Okay, just want to make sure our radar is calibrated enough. All right, so there are the storms. Now, those storms working our direction are moving into an environment that's juicy. For lack of a better term, it's warm and muggy. Upper 70s in Orlando, 75 degrees in the Villages, 79 for New Smyrna Beach. So that said, you know what, let me do the half screen version of this because I've got my little inset box up. That said, today has been upgraded to a first warning weather day. The next couple of hours, we'll see some of these showers and storms, but really it's going to be kind of late morning through lunchtime. We've got those storms. Let me illustrate this broader. I'll pull out that inset box. 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Essentially, that line of storms near Gainesville, as that moves into our area, we'll have those strong to severe threats, we'll just say. So let's just kind of take a look at the model data and see where we're at, all right? And we're going to be comparing various products. Let's start with our Futurecast that we all know and love, right? All right, so here's 8 o'clock this morning. Looking good, but those storms are just north of us. That first wave on Futurecast passes by, and then we get a couple of sprinkles. I got to tell you, our Futurecast, pretty good model, has been doing absolutely terrible. Let's dial up the high-resolution rapid refresh model, okay? This is the model. It runs every single hour. All right, and it's a convective allowing model, so it looks at the arithmetic of the atmosphere a little differently. And that, I think, in a situation like this, can only help us, right? All right, so here's the high-resolution rapid refresh model, the HRRR, all right? And you see how by 10, 11 o'clock, it's trying to bring some storms into our northwestern areas, whereas our Futurecast did not. That's definitely a difference. There by about 11:30, 12 o'clock, you see some of those cells trying to get a little feistier north of town. There you go, kind of 12:30, 1 o'clock through Flagler County. And then as that clears out, we're going to reset things and perhaps get a couple of afternoon showers and storms. So the HRRR model is showing some activity. Let's come over and look at our Beta Futurecast. And Beta Futurecast, it's kind of a newer arithmetic for things. I'm curious to see how it's handling the scenario. So let's take a look here, all right? Yeah, so 11, 12 o'clock, some storms north of town, and then it's showing by about 12, by like 12 to 2, kind of another piece of energy working through. So if there's one thing to take from all of this, I think the overarching idea is that there's activity, particularly in our northern spots. Whether or not it gets to be severe in our area, we'll wait to see, but that's why we've declared today a first warning weather day, okay, because of all of those dynamics. So essentially, level 2 out of 5 risk for scattered strong to severe storms with wind, hail, and even an isolated tornado coming through late this morning, all right? All right. I know you're probably going to ask for the soundings, so I'll get those dialed up here in the next couple of minutes. But just checking to see the comments because I've been entering it up. I've not been chatting. So let's see here. Walked out back. Looks like no rain for Titusville, Katie says. I mean, I would say that you can get rain. It's just computer models are guidance, not gospel. So don't take anything that you see on these computer models for anything more than that. All right, give me a few seconds to get this turned around. We'll switch this over to the HER model. Actually, you know what? We'll do the HER model. We could even do like actual soundings as well. HER, KMCO. We'll start, no, you know what? Let's do Ocala, KOCF, because Ocala is in the tornado watch. All right. And let me resize this. All right, so there's that. I'll make it a little smaller. This is on pivotalweather.com is the website for any nerds that are interested. And one thing that's nice about it is that it allows you to get in there and kind of interrogate. And yeah, I mean, there's some directional shear. Photograph showing the slinky showing it. Yeah, so I mean, that makes sense. It's not like a massive concern, but there's definitely some spin in there. Yeah. That's 11. Let's see, when is this? It's 12. This is 13Z. So this is in a little while as it's moving in. The dynamic, yeah. I mean, there's a little dry air upstairs. Some subtle directional shear. Could get a little spin up tornado for sure. Yeah. The shear kind of goes more straight line later in the morning to about the early afternoon as this line pushes through and it clears on out. Yeah. So, do I think that it's going to be a massive severe weather type outbreak? No, thankfully not. But do I think that we could get some stronger storms in here? Absolutely. And to that point, SPC soundings. Give me a second. Let me find the soundings. All right. So we don't have the last one we have. It looks like the last sounding we have is from 0Z, so that's going to be last night. So it's not the latest and greatest. All right, here, let me put that in there. Give me 2 seconds. So this is going to be from last night. This is going to be the latest sounding that I have, at least I have access to. It doesn't look that great. I mean, it shows some directional shear, that sort of thing, but the models did just fine. It's just not working over there, and that's fine. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. Feisty and Flagler sounds like a Dear Abby salutation. No, I think you're probably right. So northern counties under a tornado watch. So let's just discuss what that means. It's funny because I used the reference to the tacos on my social post, and I feel like a lot of people were like, "What are you talking about?" I feel like this went viral, right? Like you've got ingredients to make tacos. That's a tornado watch. You're making tacos. That's a tornado warning. So at this point, there's no warnings. There's just watches. So a watch means that conditions are favorable for tornadic cells. We just saw that on the HER model sounding data. So it makes sense, right? So we've got the ingredients to make tacos. Hopefully Mother Nature doesn't make tacos. Yeah. All right, Lucas is asking, do you think the tornado watch will be extended to Lake County and further south? It's possible. I think that the Storm Prediction Center is going to do their due diligence to make sure to check, storm motion, storm intensity, see how long it's going, how well it's moving, all of those things. So I think that at the moment we just need to follow along is the best way to put it. Follow along and just kind of see, right? Also, by the way, interesting little note, there have been some significant fires in, of all places, Central America. And if you're smelling smoke outside this morning, believe it or not, those fires in Central America may be to blame. The air column is coming from that direction. I'm just looking to see. The Storm Prediction Center hasn't made any mention of extending things around. So we'll have to watch and see how that line, there's a line of storms that's moving our direction. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see how that line of storms progresses. So for now, a few showers, maybe a couple of thunder showers around Gainesville over to St. Augustine. But as it moves into our area, kind of late morning, early afternoon is going to be the time frame. That's when we'll get that strong to severe threat. And then the question mark, notice the models were not sound on this, but if we get everything through early enough, the atmosphere is able to recycle, we're able to get some daytime heating, we're able to get some sunshine, then we could see yet another round of showers and thunder showers popping up, right? So we'll have to watch. And then, by the way, tomorrow, another opportunity for strong to severe storms. Are you having fun yet? This is a crazy train and we can't get off. Tomorrow, a level 1 out of 5 risk for isolated strong to severe storms. Today, a level 2 out of 5 risk for scattered strong to severe storms, okay? All right, there's a lot. There's a lot there. It's a lot to unpack. Let's look at the 7-day forecast, then we can dive into some of the model data, right? So here's the 7-day forecast, okay? It's very clearly an active one today. First warning weather day for tomorrow. More showers and storms. It doesn't look like the atmosphere wants to support the same level of intensity. So we'll keep a higher coverage, but at the moment at least, we'll go with just a first warning impact day. Then Thursday, Friday, as winds turn, we think we're going to dry out just a little bit. So we'll go with a 10% chance of rain and building heat. And then into the weekend, the shower and thunderstorm chances start to build. All right. Enough of my entering it up for a minute. Let me check on some of these comments that y'all have. And I apologize. I've been running around, checking these comments. Rain and celebration today. I thought we were just going to be overcast. I mean, there's a decent coverage of showers and storms, Summer. Who said that you were just going to be overcast? With the rainy season kind of getting kicked up, we've talked about this for a while. Yeah. Now, how much rain are we talking about? Lauren says, I smelled smoke this morning in West Melbourne. That's what it's from. How much rain are we talking about? Here, stand by. It's thinking. All right. So over the next 7 days' time, Orlando is at 1.5 inches for rain. Daytona Beach at nearly 2 inches of rain. Palm Bay, 1.75. So that's kind of the forecast. Gainesville, a higher number. Lower numbers down to where I'm at in West Palm Beach, about 1.25 inches. But either way, the model data does look to want to present the rainy season for Central Florida. That's kind of the forecast. If we look at the future cast, okay, and this is just our model, which is doing kind of a terrible job. But over the next few days, you can see the yellows, right? You can see the yellows and some oranges. So you're looking at 2 to 3 inches with isolated spots, perhaps running 3 to 5. So that's kind of where we're at the next couple of days. Again, computer models are guidance, not gospel. All right. Chris says every 47 days we'll have to deal with this. Ain't that the truth, buddy? Ted says we're officially into the thick of summer. At least it's starting to seem that way, isn't it, right? Yeah. Tiffany, do these storms have any indication for what's to come in hurricane season? I mean, I would say that we know that the weather cycles. So, yeah, to some extent, perhaps, right? Yeah. Patty says time to behave. He's checking the comments. That's right. See, you got to be on your best behavior. Jean says, holy hailstorm yesterday. Nearly every home in our 300-plus neighborhood yesterday had their pool screens torn apart. Haines City. Can we expect the same today? So, first off, when I was watching that storm, Gene, on radar, I was doing live shots, and I couldn't believe the hail core in that thing. I mean, that was a significant hail concern. Yeah. So, as far as the hail threats go today, let me find... Beta Futurecast has a hail product. And let's dial that up and let's just see together, right? I'm kind of in conference mode, so I haven't taken a significant deep dive. But let's just roll through time and look for... Yeah, I mean, the model's kind of showing early after, we start to see some of those pinks. So there's, the further north you are, into Gainesville and the I-10 corridor, that's where we could be talking about some significant hail threats. For our area, though, you see like out near Astatula, Forest Hills, it's not a massive hail threat, but there is a hail threat. So it's more isolated for hail for us. And as a matter of fact, here's a good way to look at it. I don't know if this has been updated, but we'll give it the old college try. All right, so threats for today. Tornado and damaging winds, the main concerns, right? It's going to be so a level 1 out of 5 risk for hail, but a level 2 out of 5 risk for damaging winds and hail. So that's today's severe weather threats. All right. So hopefully that kind of illustrates it a little bit there, right? Yeah, I think that yesterday, man, that hail was something. That hail was something else. Man, I'm sad to hear that it played out. I didn't hear of any confirmation, but I'm sad to hear that it did. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hail at my sister's house in Haines City was huge. Nicole, I'm sorry to hear that. Ugh. All right, let's see here. But I have to take the kiddo to Orlando this afternoon for a callback audition, hoping the nasty stuff stays away, Nikki says. Hoping indeed. Hoping indeed. I'm amazed. I'm continually amazed by Eric's et al. Command of the geographical names. Why? What did I say, Chris? What did I say? Let's check while we're just hanging here talking. Let's check back in on our first warning live Doppler radar and see. I grew up in this area, so of course I'm going to have a decent command of the city names, etc. Yeah. All right. So my Marion County friends, we see that line getting closer and closer. It's not tornadoing, thankfully, but these cells are going to bear watching for sure. Lizzie says we got nothing yesterday in Palm Bay. We really need some rain here. Next couple of days, we're going to have opportunities. We'll just say that. Catherine says we had a bad trip this morning in Flagler, hoping the worst weather will keep away. Sorry to hear that. Mike Rocco's for dinner. It's been a while since I've been. I think we have a Rocco's in Orlando. No bicycle riding today. Yeah. Taylor, this weekend are we looking for regular afternoon storms or washout conditions? Regular afternoon storms is where we're at. Yeah, regular afternoon storms is kind of where we're at. At least for now. Keep in mind, things can, will, and do change. But at least for now, that's what we're looking at. Regular afternoon storms. All right? All right, so here's our 7-day forecast. Today, first warning weather day. Tomorrow, first warning impact day. Opportunities for severe weather. And then storms around this weekend. I mean, it's a 30-40% coverage. We're not looking at anything terrifying here for the weekend. For today, we've got some added atmospherics in play, so things could get a little sporty. So we have to watch. Can you watch the weather? Y'all, there's almost 800 people in this room right now watching the weather. So I think we can stay weather aware, and certainly we will be doing that, right? For sure. Siobhan's asking, when is the worst of the weather expected today in Ocala? All right, so good question. So let's do this. We kind of eyeballed Futurecast, but I really want to go back to the HRRR model. All right, give me a second. Let me pull up the HRRR model here. I actually have to type in the word HRRR just to get it to pop up. All right, so here's the HRRR model. The models are doing a not perfect job with this scenario. And it's not just Futurecast, like all of them. Like, for example, that's the HRRR model, right? And I always tell you, garbage in, garbage out. So here's a prime example. Like, here's first warning live Doppler radar. There's rain in the Ocala National Forest up through Putnam County, back over to St. John's and Duval County. So there's some storms around. Whereas if you look at future or HRRR model, it's really not showing it. But the convective allowing model is showing some of those storms firing through 11 o'clock, right? 12 o'clock. So I would say if I'm in Marion County, through about 12 o'clock, I would expect there to be some strong to severe storms. Now, the HRRR model's a little slower, right? The models don't seem to be handling the timing of this very well. And so that's the struggle. But through lunchtime or so, I would suspect that we could be looking at some of those nastier storms kind of sliding through the area. Right? All right. Sound good? Ashley's asking, will this line of storms hit the villages? Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks that way. Next couple of hours through lunchtime. And they've been working ahead of schedule, we'll say. So, yeah. Brian's asking, could some of the volatile atmosphere be coming from the magnetic solar flare? I have no idea. I just work here, man. Yeah, I don't. Space weather is a whole other bag of potato chips. I know what I know. I don't know what I don't know. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way I operate here. Yeah. I'm enjoying the conference. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can see the bottom of lakes in my neighborhood. Need the rain. Yeah, we need to get that for sure. Jeannie Rowan, lunchtime storms. I know. And it's not, we don't get storms like this very often. So when we do, we just have to deal with them. It's not an all-day rain event, but there's going to be through the day, there will be pockets of showers and storms for sure. Chris, is the HER extended any different? Of course you'd ask me that, Chris. Stand by. Let me go find the HER extended. You pain in my tuchus. HER extended, where are you? That is the HER extended. All right, hold on a second here. Finding it, stand by. All right. All right, so here's the HER extended. So the difference between the HER and the HER extended is every couple of model runs, the HER model will run longer. Okay, so here's 8 a.m. And again, it's a little quieter than it should be. But, by 11:30, 12 o'clock, it's got the storms through Marion. And then by like 12:30, 1 o'clock into like Lake, Volusia, Flagler, and then clearing out. So what's interesting is this is the HER extended, and you see that line of storms there. Let me come over and look at our Futurecast again. So we have Futurecast extended, and we use that most of the time on the air. But let me look. We have an hourly Futurecast that we don't use very often because it doesn't go out as far. Okay, so see, there's so many flavors of models. It's frustrating. So this is our Futurecast, more mesoscale hourly. This is our Futurecast hourly, and it's actually doing a good job. Kind of showing those storms, though, going by. See, I don't think they're going to go by. I say it's doing a good job. It initialized well. All right, so I think the HER extended is probably pretty good. There's 12 o'clock. Maybe the timing will be a little earlier than the model says, but by like 12 o'clock, the line of storms moves through, and then by like 12:30, 1 o'clock, you've got those storms moving into like Lake, Volusia, Flagler counties. Yeah. If you haven't figured it out yet, weather forecasting is frustrating. That's just what it is. Because there's so many different models, you get into like the mathematics of each model, and it's just like, man, can't we all just get along? Pain in my neck. Taylor, he's a scientist, not a rocket scientist. Exactly, Jeannie. Oh, space weather sounds mad crazy. Yeah, it's just a different thing. John, working in my tin shed in Levy County, aka the police department, telling cops and firefighters where to go. Looking at street cam, seeing a huge black line of clouds dividing the sky to the north. John, that makes sense. Yeah, those storms are moving in for sure. Yeah. Taylor says, Chris is just making sure you do your job, bud. Helping you keep your paycheck during your volunteer time. That's right. I'm like, there's only so many models I could check in when I'm not on shift, and my day starts in like an hour and a half. Oh man. Janice, I like the HER model. It's nice, it's friendly. HER model makes you look, and then you're like, why did I do that sometimes? You just need to know. It's true. It's true. There is an observed 10Z XMR sounding that just came out. Shows a decent SKU. All right, Mickey. Thank you, Mickey. All right, hold on. All right. Is there a new sounding? Ah, yes, there is. Perfect. All right, hold on. Copy. Image address. All right, stand by. Let me get that XMR sounding in there. I haven't looked at it. Okay. Okay. All right, here's the XMR sounding that just came out. So let's look at this together. Yeah, I mean, that's decent. So that's a decent sounding. So let's just kind of take this together, all right? I'm going to zoom into different parts and look. So first off, it's not like a straight goalpost, but it's definitely letting you know that we've got a little bit of a severe, the atmosphere kind of dries and then it moists and then it dries. So you've got that if you look at the winds. So what am I looking at here? First off, for those of you that are new to Coffee Talk and new to this whole super weather nerd thing, and Mickey, thank you for being nerd enough to check for me, because when I checked 5 minutes ago, it wasn't there. So what you're looking at is raw data off of a weather balloon. Why is this important? Well, because for me, I don't just want to look at the dynamics at the surface. I want to go up in the atmosphere because that's where the storms are. That's where the storms develop. So the green line is the dew point. The red line is the temperature. And there's a ton of other stuff on this as well. But Essentially, what you do is you start to learn and then XMR observed. So this is Cape Canaveral Space Force Station sounding. All right, so this is the Scuti log P diagram. So what we're looking at on a couple of different pieces here. First off, you've got the wind barbs kind of in black on the right-hand side, starting almost due south-southeast at the surface, but it jets a little bit once we get up to about, what is that? That's about 850, so about a kilometer or so up. About 10% of the atmosphere up, or about 900 millibars. You start to get a significant turn in the winds to more of a southwesterly direction, and it picks up at about 30 or so knots. So there's a little push of wind. It's not significant wind, but there's a little push of wind. And then you keep going up the air mass, and about 6 kilometers up, or about 500 millibars, halfway out the atmosphere. You've got, it looks like 45 knot winds. Right? Again, this is not like an Oklahoma tornado setup, but it's at least a decent enough setup, okay? Supercell indicators are there. We've got perhaps some hail indicators there. Could get a lower end tornado. It's not a significant tornado event looking at the data, but it would support spin, it would support rotation, it would support some definite wind mixing down to the surface, throwing some gusty winds in there. So that's why today is a first warning weather day, because we've got that dynamic there for that. And in terms of the elements, I think that that today is definitely going to be a good candidate to at least keep very close watch. That's why there's a tornado watch posted. That's why today's a first warning weather day. Mickey, thank you very much for the assist there. All right, let's see here. Nice lightning last night for sure. Wish we could get some good rain in Groveland. I would agree with that. Megan, any specific rain updates for tomorrow? I know it's hard to pinpoint. We have baseball playoff games in Altamont starting at 5:30. All right, so we can look at the model for 5:30. So this is the HER extended. So we could take the HER extended through. So, one other note. Because it's the HER extended, so there's the lunchtime stuff. Watch how it's bringing that next round through 6:30, 7 o'clock. You see that? Can't rule that out, all right? Then into tomorrow. That's a mess. Tomorrow is a mess. Look at that. 7 a.m., widespread showers and storms. 9 a.m., widespread showers and storms. It looks like, and this is what I said earlier, at the moment at least, it looks like the overall coverage is higher, but perhaps the intensity is a little bit lower. Now, that said, let's look at, see, like now you've got my brain a ticking here. Let's look at, all right, so this is Beta Futurecast. I just want to look and see. So Beta Futurecast showing, yeah, the showers and storms moving through, but I want to look at like the rotation product on there. Hold on. I'm looking. Here we are. All right, so it doesn't show a ton of rotation until tonight, Beta Futurecast. And then for tomorrow, listen, I mean, for tomorrow, at least Beta Futurecast is trying to say, like, watch it, people. Tomorrow, yeah, may have some decent rotation in there. So we may end up, just looking at the data, we may end up having to go first warning weather day tomorrow as well. Are we having fun yet? Like, Florida, spring into summer transition is always fun. We always get feisty. Yeah. Never a dull moment. Right? Diane, where is the balloon located? Right now it's up in the air. But no, they launch it from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. I've been to the little shack. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Yep. You don't need to hide, Steve. Mickey, I got you. Just learned all this from the master. Who? Where? Mickey, are you at your old breeding ground? Yeah. This is so. I'm at my old TV station. This is WPBF. If we weren't tracking severe weather, I would want to try and take you guys on a tour. But we've got the severe weather threat, so it's not necessarily like it's not a good day to just do an off the cuff tour. But it's WPBF. This is where I first did weather. My first on the air weather center is like 20 feet that direction. So yes, Mickey, at the old proving grounds, we'll say. Meredith McDonough and I worked here together years ago. It was a good chapter of life for sure. Yeah. All right. Used to see weather balloon go up from the Hurricane Center off the Turnpike in Miami. Oh yeah. Aaron, only concern is tomorrow's Orlando City soccer game. Yeah, well, if you trust the HRRR, and again, models haven't done the best job, but if you trust the HRRR, watch it clearing out like tomorrow late after. Here's 5 p.m. We're looking good. So according to the HRRR, it's really a morning into about early afternoon event for tomorrow. But for today, we kind of have that lunchtime-esque stuff in the area. So just depends which model you go with, that sort of thing. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Lucas is asking, normally how accurate is the HRRR? They're all great and they're all terrible. Yeah. Starliner launch weather percentages. There's I think I saw something like a 30 or 40% chance of violation. So it's not great, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll have to watch. All right. Still concerned with next week's weather is the first one for your hurricane season predictions. So let's look real quick. Let's pull up the computer models. This is the raw models, right? All right. So let's pull up the computer models and let's just kind of eyeball and see what's ahead. So we know we've got lowered pressure around now. Storm system, backside kind of drying out a little bit into Friday, into Saturday, Sunday. Little storm system goes by north of us, bringing the moisture back. Something there near like the Turks and Caicos there, bottom right corner, you see it? Nothing crazy. So GFS isn't going with anything crazy. So at least for now, tropics remain nice and quiet. We'll keep an eye. Listen, we'll keep an eye. All right? As long as the weather is nice on my birthday Friday, I'm good, Darlene. We're going to do everything we can, right? Yeah. All right, let's see. So the weather's going to be moist, juicy, and yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm guessing government weather guys do they do the same thing that we do. They look at all the models, they do the best they can to just kind of figure it all out. So yeah. Right? All right. Brian, when you get to like 30,000 feet and above, you're tapping into some energy up there. So yeah, that's usually pretty good. Are these storms moving across the Gulf Coast part of the... Yeah, it's all recycling. It's all recycling. It's all working through. All right? Questions, comments, concerns, anything? We looking good? People, everything looking good? Katie says, give me the rain. We've got a rainy pattern, that's for sure. Yeah, we've got a rainy pattern, my friends. All right. So for today, first warning weather day, I'll be at the conference, but I'll be posting and tweeting and all those other things. All right. Sound good? All right. Listen, thank you all so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. It's kind of funny. I have to show you real fast. Kind of funny because being in this weather center, it's all the same equipment we have at WESH, but it's the other views. So they're tracking their storm threats down here as well. So yeah, maybe if tomorrow isn't as much of a strong storm threat, I'll give you a tour around this station, and it's fun. It's fun. This is a good little shop. All right. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Take care, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.